She stared at herself in the mirror, just like every morning. Same reflection, same feeling. Her eyes always landed on the same thing, her nose. A little wider than she wanted, slightly tilted. She hated it. Even though people rarely commented on it, it was all she could see. Every photo, every mirror, every casual glance someone gave her, she believed it was the first thing they noticed too. Her name was Eliza. She was 26, an artist, soft-spoken, and kind-hearted. She had the kind of beauty that didn't scream for attention, but if you looked closer, you saw a warmth and grace that made her unforgettable. But Eliza didn't feel any of that. In her mind, her face wasn't symmetrical enough, her skin wasn't flawless, and that nose, oh, that nose, was enough to keep her from ever feeling truly beautiful. In school, no one bullied her. There were no cruel names or constant teasing. But one offhand comment at age 13 changed everything. A boy she liked had said, "She's cute, but her nose is kind of big." It was a casual remark. He didn't mean to hurt her, but that one sentence rooted itself deep into her mind. Years passed. Eliza grew up, but the comments stayed. She compared herself to every woman she saw on social media. Perfect filters, perfect angles, perfect noses. She started skipping photos, avoiding video calls, and even turning down dates. They'll notice, she always thought. They'll think I'm ugly. This wasn't vanity, it was pain. Quiet, constant pain. The real tragedy. Most people never noticed. Friends saw her as beautiful. Strangers complimented her smile. But Eliza had developed what psychologists call a cognitive distortion. She was stuck in a loop, focusing only on the flaw she thought defined her. One morning, after canceling a night out just because she couldn't get her makeup to fix her nose, she sat in her room and broke down. Not because of her face, but because she was tired. Tired of fighting a war in her own head. That's when something changed. She picked up her notebook and wrote, "I hate my nose. I think it makes me look bad." Then she stopped and stared at the sentence. Something inside her whispered, "But is that really true?" That was the beginning of her journey into cognitive behavioral thinking. She didn't call it that at first. She just called it talking back to herself. A kind of self-conversation, a moment of honesty. She started writing down her thoughts and questioning them. Whenever a negative thought came, she'd pause and ask, "Is this a fact or just my opinion? What evidence do I have that everyone notices this? Would I say this to someone I love?" Over time, Eliza realized most of her thoughts weren't based on truth. They were just fears she had repeated so often, they felt real. One day, she remembered that boy's comment from when she was 13. She had let that single sentence define her for more than a decade. She wrote it down again. This time, she added, "He was a kid. He didn't even know me. I gave that moment too much power." With each journal entry, her inner voice changed. It didn't happen overnight, but slowly, her mind became less cruel, more kind. She created what she called her truth list. I like my eyes. I have a kind heart. I make people feel safe. I am not perfect, but I am enough. Every day, she read it aloud. At first, it felt silly, fake, but soon, the words became familiar, like warm echoes returning home. Cognitive behavioral thinking helped her see that her thoughts weren't always facts. They were just thoughts, and she had the power to question them. She remembered something she had once read in a book by Carl Jung. The most terrifying thing is to accept oneself completely. And it was terrifying, but it was also freeing. There was real research that backed what Eliza was learning on her own. A 2017 study published in the Journal of Cognitive Behavioral Therapy found that individuals who regularly challenged their negative thoughts using CBT techniques saw significant improvements in self-esteem. The brain began to relearn how to process self-image, making space for self-acceptance and growth. Eliza learned to see her flaw, not as a failure, but as a feature, something that made her real, human. Her nose, once the enemy, became something neutral, and eventually, something she could even love. She started taking selfies again, first for herself. No filters, no angles, no hiding. And one day, she posted a photo online, just her, laughing, natural, radiant. The comments? "You look happy. You have such a warm smile. There's something so real about you." None of them mentioned her nose. That's when she realized it was never about the nose. It was always about how she saw herself. And now she saw herself differently. To the girl watching this right now, who's been carrying shame over something most people barely notice, I see you. Maybe it's your skin, your hair, your weight, your voice. Maybe it's something you've been told to fix, hide, or hate. But here's what I want you to know. You are not broken. You are not less. You are not your flaw. Loving yourself doesn't mean pretending your insecurity doesn't exist. It means accepting it as a part of you and loving yourself anyway. You don't need anyone to tell you you're beautiful before you believe it. You can decide that for yourself, just like Eliza did. Real love, the kind that fills you from the inside out, starts with one brave thought. I am enough, just as I am. And from there, it grows. Cognitive behavior thinking isn't magic, but it's real, and it works. It gives you the power to take back control from that voice in your head. And the best part? You don't need permission from anyone to start. Just one moment of courage, one kind word, one question that changes everything. Is this thought helping me love myself? Say it now. I am worthy. I am whole. I love myself. Because you are. You always have been. And now, it's your time to believe it.